President of IMC, Shri Devendra ji, Shri Deepak Narayan ji, Srimati Shalini Piramal, Shri Arvind Pradhan, my wife Amruta, all the dignitaries present here, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the Jain brothers for their very successful venture of Virok and endurance. And I must say that Maharashtra is proud of you. Ms. Piramal told me that we would like to organize a function where the theme would be Resurgent India, Maharashtra leads the way. I think his introductory remarks were so apt that I don't need to give any more reasoning to show how Maharashtra leads the way. The invitation says that it's an interaction. But I think now it would turn into a monologue, where I will speak and you will listen. I think at some other time we can also have a very interactive session, and I think that is more useful when you have a dialogue. In fact, we all know that Maharashtra has been a very progressive state, and now when we see that the entire world is looking at the Indian economy, the way we are progressing, Maharashtra has to play a very vital role. In fact, all of us know that India is passing through a demographic dividend. Our Honorable Prime Minister says that we have 3 Ds: demography, democracy and demand. And if we leverage these 3 Ds, I think it's time for India. And when we look at the demographic dividend which we have, today the average age of our country is 25 years, and more than 65% of our population is below 35 years of age. And if you look at the developed world, the entire world is aging. The average age of Japan is 48. The average age of Eastern Europe is 44. Of Western Europe is 41. Of America is 37. Of China, it is 39. So the entire world is aging. And the world requires human resource to fuel its economy. And the only country which has capacity to provide this human resource is none other than India. And I think if we understand this strength of India, whereby, let's say 2020, our average age will be 29 years, and all the developed economies would be channelized through a human resource which is provided by us. I think we can imagine the amount of growth which we can fetch for our country. So I think we are actually passing through a very exciting phase, a very interesting phase, a very challenging phase. And we need to rise to the occasion. When I look at Maharashtra, for last 4 years, we are facing extreme drought. Last year, 25,000 villages out of 40,000 villages experienced drought. This year, around 28,000 villages out of 40,000 villages are experiencing extreme drought. We all know that now Latur has become national drought capital because everybody from the national media feels that that is the only place where there is a water scarcity. Of course, we are doing our bit by providing water through train. But I think that is the biggest challenge. Because if you look at the GSDP of Maharashtra, in the Maharashtra's GSDP, the share of agriculture sector is 11%. But the number of people who are dependent on agriculture for livelihood are around 45 to 50%. So if you look at the scenario into entirety, you will understand that 50% of people are creating 11% of wealth. And that is why we can see extreme states in Maharashtra, where on one side we can see extreme prosperity, on other side we see farmer suicides. And I think what we need to focus is on shifting the pressure on agriculture to provide employment to the secondary and tertiary sector. And that can only happen if we skill people and if we take our agriculture towards value addition. Today, 82% of our agriculture is dependent on monsoon. And of late we have seen, with all the global warming and climate change, the patterns of monsoon have changed, and that results into a situation where you get rains, but either the percentage is low or the gaps between two rain or two rainy seasons or two rainy days is so huge that the sowing season is wasted. And we have seen this year that in 5 to 7 districts, despite 70% rains, there is an agricultural drought. So what we really need to create is the structures which would conserve the moisture, which would conserve the water. And our government has a flagship program called Jal Yukt Shivar, where we are essentially trying to do the same thing. We are trying to create distributed water structures through water conservation. Approach of ridge to valley, where every single drop of water is conserved. The moisture is conserved in the fields, and the entire watershed is developed in a way that, I must tell you, day before yesterday, it rained in the district of Latur, and with 1 day's rain, those distributed water structures which we created are filled with water. So I think unless we make our agriculture drought proof, And for that, what is the key? Key is to shift the paradigm from relief and rehabilitation to investment. Into agriculture, if you look at what really we are doing, is for years together, either you give short-term crop loans, which is not investment, or if the crops are damaged, if there's a drought, there's an unseasonal rain, we provide relief in terms of little money which we give to the farmers. But now we have shifted the paradigm and we are actually investing into agriculture, where we are creating water structures, efficient water use, into cropping patterns. And I must tell you that recently we have submitted a proposal to the World Bank, which is under active consideration, wherein 5,000 villages, with their help and their funding, we have taken an integrated plan where we will create water structures, use all the modern techniques of micro irrigation, through which we'll use the water efficiently, and with the cropping pattern, we will change the entire landscape of agriculture. And how it changes, let me tell you, in last 1 year, we did this work in 6,000 villages. And we could create water storages of 24 TMC, which means that the water which can irrigate 6 lakh hectares of land. And for that, we spent 1,400 crores. 300 crores was a public contribution. People gave money. And why this is amazing? Because in earlier days, as pointed out by Mr. Piramal, if you had to create water storage for 6 lakh hectares of land to be irrigated, it used to take 6 to 8 years, which we created in 1 year. And it used to take investment of 12 to 14,000 crores, which we did in 1,400 crores. And I think, I'm sure, in 5 years' time, we will make Maharashtra drought-proof. 20,000 villages. We have a plan, rolled out a plan, through which we will make Maharashtra drought-proof. But that's not enough. This population, which is engaged into agriculture, there's no real employment. The employment would come from the secondary and tertiary sector. So agriculture needs a linkage with the secondary and tertiary sector. And that's what we are trying to do. So, for example, in Amravati, 15-20 years back, MIDC was set up. It was designated as a 5-star MIDC. And I'm from Vidarbha. My mother is from Amravati, so every time from Nagpur I travel to Amravati. For last 15 years, I could see a beautiful MIDC with all roads paved, electricity and everything, and not a single industry. Not a single industry. We decided that it's a cotton belt. So let's start an integrated textile park. Because 25% of the cotton which we produce is actually processed in our state and 75% goes outside. So if we do the value addition here, and as our Honorable Prime Minister says, that from farm to fashion, we need to develop a value chain. So we decided to develop a value chain. And in 1 year's time, I'm happy to tell you that there are 8 industries. 4 industries have already started production. Recently I went there and for the stone laying of Raymond's, which would be an anchor investor there. And now is a situation where everything, all value addition, there are 8 different types of value addition which is done in, if we talk of from farm to fashion in cotton industry, everything is present there. And now we are looking for an apparel park which would be located there, which would actually take the cotton, process it, transform it into a cloth, and finally into apparel. So I think if this value addition is then, and the linkage of market is given to the agriculture sector, and if the agriculture sector is linked with the secondary and tertiary sector, the entire landscape of Maharashtra can change, and these 50% who are left out of the growth story of Maharashtra would be put back into the growth trajectory of Maharashtra, and I think the development which we envisage, which we foresee, can be doubled, tripled in very less time. As Dilip ji has pointed out, even in the industrial sector, we have tried to do many reforms into ease of doing business. We are trying to do away with the permission Raj. We are trying to put everything on an electronic platform. In Maharashtra, we have now Right to Services Act. That act actually gives a right to every citizen to get services from the government in proper time, at proper cost, and it casts a duty on a government official to provide that service in a proper time, at proper cost, and if he doesn't, then he is penalized. So now we have started notifying all the services under this act, and once everything comes on an electronic platform and the human intervention is minimized, I think we can really change the entire landscape, and that's what we are doing. And we are very happy that in the Make in India week, Maharashtra really led the way, and out of 15 lakh crores of MOUs which were signed in the Make in India week, 8 lakh crores investment MOUs were signed in Maharashtra, for Maharashtra, into varied sector. So again, in the manufacturing sector, Maharashtra is coming back to its position, which has always been there, but for the void which we created, as you have rightly said, why Gujarat could develop an international financial center? Because we did not. If Mumbai would have developed an international financial center, no other state would have ventured. But we created a void. Mumbai has its intrinsic advantage, the time zone, the presence of entire global community. It's the right place. And I feel that it's not about competition. We can also work in harmony. The Gujarat and Maharashtra, Mumbai and the gift city can come together and actually make a larger landscape for a financial center. And that's what we contemplate to do. In fact, I think that the way we have changed the working of government is also very important. Now you were talking about the infrastructure projects. Let me assure you, most of the projects which you have mentioned, each and every person who is sitting in this room, in his lifetime, I will complete the projects. We have been hearing about the Trans-Harbour Link for 20 years. And you're right, even 15 years back, I was amazed when in Times of India, I saw a drawing of a Trans-Harbour Link, which was so amazing that It's connecting 22 kilometers of the stretch in sea. I thought, look, my city, my state is going forward. Nothing happened in 15 years. But in just 1 year's time, I got all the permissions, all. Not a single permission is now left. And in this week, I'm publishing the tender, RFQ. And I'm sure before 31st of October, we will award the work order contract for Trans Harbour Link. So what could not happen for 20 years, we could do it in just 1 year's time. The sea link, which again you know has been pet project of many chief ministers. But it did not happen. I'm thankful to the Modi government. I went to the Prime Minister, I went to the Environment Minister, I told them, look, this is a project which is very important for Mumbai, because 60% of the Mumbai traffic goes from the Western Expressway. And unless we decongest Mumbai on the west side, we will not have a living standard in Mumbai. So this coastal road is very important. And I am happy that in less than 6 months, all the notifications were changed. The coastal road, which was erstwhile government did not allow, was allowed by this government. Now all the permissions are with me, and a part of the coastal road already the DPR is in final stage, and the tenders would be called. And the latter part of it, which is a sea link, the RFQ will be out in next 7 to 10 days. So I think even for the coastal road, in 2016 itself, we will start the work of the coastal road. Again, I must tell you, the New Mumbai airport, for so many years, we have been hearing that there will be an airport at New Mumbai. Nothing happened. In just 1 year, we got all the permissions, we did the pre-qualification, and now 3 months are given for the final tender, which is a price tender. And I think, again, by October or November, we will award the contract of constructing a new airport at New Mumbai, and I'm sure in 2019 you will see first flight flying from the New Mumbai airport. Again, I must tell you the pace at which we are trying to work. The metros, you know, in our country, it takes 2 years for DPR, 2 years for government approval, and at least 1 year for a tender. It's a matter of minimum 5 years. We planned few metro corridors. We actually created the DPRs in 2 months. In further 2 months, government gave all clearance. Further to that, in 3 months, we called the tender, we finalized the tender, and we gave the work order. So there are 2 corridors where in 7 months, in single calendar year, from DPR to award of work, we have already done. 2 more corridors. Now we are in phase of tendering, and I am sure by 2019 we would create 108 kilometers of metro network. And you must appreciate that in past 8 years, we could create just 1 metro line. And in 4 years, we will be creating 108 kilometers of metro network. Again, the suburban railway is also a lifeline of Mumbai. We recently decided that on the same right of way why can't we have an elevated corridor? And the elevated corridor can be multimodal, where the railway and road can go together. And we have decided, and I'm thankful to Mr. Suresh Prabhu, who is our Union Minister for Railways. He took active interest. And from CST to Panvel and Churchgate to Virar, we are creating an elevated corridor. And by 15th of August, the DPR will be ready. And then we start the tendering process. And this is a low-hanging fruit. Why? Because Mumbai, if you want to create anything, the biggest problem is right of way. And in these both corridors, the right of way is with railways, because already the railway lines are there and you are creating a corridor above the existing corridor. Now what we need to do is, and what we are trying to do is, to integrate all these modes of transport. So the railways, suburban railways, the mono, the metro, and the bus service. We'll be integrating everything and we will bring it on a single ticket. And that too, a ticket which will be RF ticket on your mobile. So you enter any mode of transport with just swapping your mobile, and you will be able to enter any transport. You will be able to switch to any transport. And I think that integration will provide end-to-end solution for the people of Mumbai to use the public transport. What I am trying to tell you is that when you say Maharashtra leads the way, yes, of course, Maharashtra is leading the way. Maharashtra is setting examples. Actually, I have taken a lot of time, but still, I want to tell you one more thing into infrastructure. What we are trying to create a communication expressway from Nagpur to Mumbai. We feel that if we want to provide the locational advantage to all industries in entire state, if we create a corridor where every single district is connected to JNPT, is connected to port, then it's a locational advantage to every district. So we will be creating a 8-lane access control Nagpur-Mumbai Communication Super Expressway. Till now, the longest super expressway is Yamuna Expressway, which is 190 kilometers. What we will be building is 800 kilometers super expressway. And from Nagpur to JNPT, you will be able to cover distance in 8 hours. From Aurangabad, since you are from Aurangabad and we are developing Aurek city, from Aurangabad to JNPT, it will be a matter of 4 hours. So now you look at the value addition to the business, where you have a port next door and we have a dry port at Jalna. The dry port at Wardha, the dry port at Jalna will be connected to the port at JNPT. And to this communication super expressway, we are creating dedicated corridors to 20 districts. So that means now the advantage of port, JNPT and the port-led development is to Mumbai, Pune, Nasik, and very little to Aurangabad. Now pan-Maharashtra, we will leverage this port-led development and will create entire value chain for agriculture and processing, manufacturing. And I think with that, our economy would not only expand, but it would be able to provide jobs to the aspiring population of this state. I think the government has vision. We have courage to transform that vision into action, and I feel that the institutions like Indian Merchant Chambers, who have laid the way for so many years, need to support us, need to partner us, and I'm sure in next 4 years we will take this state to next level. I once again thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to this August gathering. Thank you very much.